Okay, let's just rip the band-aid off in this one. We learn that falling into sexual sin kills your dad. Boom, there it is.
For heaven's sake, that's a gross oversimplification from a clearly biased online reviewer. We can't just start there. There's nuance, there's context, there's the backdrop of a national tragedy.
Nuance. The context is boy meets girl. They get frisky on the sofa, ignore dad's phone call from the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001, and poof, dad's gone. Connect the dots, professor. It's not calculus.
Welcome to Heartbook Radio, where nuance apparently goes to die. We're discussing Karen Kingsbury's Remember, the second book in her Baxter family redemption series. A book exploring faith, family, and, well, some seem to think, divine retribution via fornication.
Hey, don't blame the messenger. Blame the book that reads like Seventh Heaven Got Rear, ended by a Michael Bay movie. And honestly, after you tried to convince everyone Moby Dick was a laugh riot, Anne, your definition of nuance is suspect.
It was a complex allegory, unlike this, which, according to some less charitable readers, is about as subtle as a sledgehammer. The author is clearly trying to explore themes of guilt and consequence.
Oh, consequences. Like Ashley Baxter, the family black sheep. You know, the artist who ran off to Paris, had a secret affair with some famous painter dude, popped out a kid, and then basically dumped him on her parents. Talk about consequences. Now she's back judging Landon, the firefighter hero, for being too safe. Honey, safe looks pretty good compared to international love scandal resulting in surprise grandchild.
Ashley represents a struggle with faith and vulnerability. She's guarded, she's been hurt. Her journey is about opening her heart again, finding redemption through working with Alzheimer's patients, apparently, though some reviews suggest she basically cures them with a WebMD printout.
Oh yeah, the Alzheimer's miracle cure. Right next to her sister Kari, who apparently fixed another sister's marriage before anyone even knew it was rocky. These Baxters, they're not a family. They're a walking, talking intervention squad with suspiciously good hair. And don't get me started on Luke.
Luke's arc is arguably the most complex. He starts pious, yes, perhaps judgmental, but then he succumbs to temptation with his girlfriend Reagan.
Succumbs, like it's a disease. They got busy, on the couch.
And then 9/11 happens. Reagan misses her father's last call because of their indiscretion. Luke spirals into a crisis of faith, blaming himself, questioning God, even working on a college project to disprove God's existence. It's a portrayal of profound grief and doubt.
Profound grief or profound self-pity nonsense. He moves in with some non-believer girl, Laurie, basically flips his family the bird, and whines about how unfair it all is. He sounds exactly like my neighbor Gary after his wife caught him buying a motorcycle with their vacation fund. Total meltdown, zero accountability. If anyone in this book deserves to get cancelled, it's Luke. It's God's fault I was horny Baxter.
That is incredibly reductive. And what about Landon? The heroic firefighter searching ground zero for survivors, including his own friend. He's the steadfast counterpoint.
Landon, Mr. Perfect. So perfect he's boring. Too safe, Ashley says. You know what too safe means? It means missionary position, lights off, talks about his 401k during foreplay. Ashley probably needs someone who, I don't know, hasn't peaked in high school. And honestly, who decided the villain administrator had to be fat? The book apparently mentions her spilling over her chair like 3 times. Subtle, Kingsbury. Real subtle.
Okay, the characterization of Belinda is a rather unfortunate trope. I'll concede that. But does the book succeed overall? Is it actually good? Some readers find it deeply moving, a testament to faith enduring tragedy. One 5-star review called it heart-gripping and life-changing.
Life-changing or jelly read? You know, where your mind turns to jelly if you read too much. Another reviewer said, quote, "You'd have to be a masochist to want to marry into the Baxter family." And I believe it. It's tragedy bingo 9/11. Check Alzheimer's. Check secret baby. Check crisis of faith. Double check what's next. Locusts, a plague of boils.
It is rather relentless. The sheer volume of suffering heaped upon one family pushes the boundaries of realism, certainly. It leans heavily into melodrama. One reviewer mocked a line. If this fire meant his days were up, then Landon had no regrets. Except one. He hadn't gotten to tell Ashley Baxter goodbye.
See, cheese. But is it entertaining cheese? Like, are we talking Kraft single or an age crumbly cheddar you can't stop nibbling? Because honestly, the idea of Luke having his little existential crisis because he couldn't keep it in his pants is kind of hilarious in a horrifying way.
Hilarious? The implication, intended or not, that their actions directly led to a death in the towers. It's deeply problematic. It skirts dangerously close to victim blaming under the guise of a moral lesson.
Exactly. Problematic sells. Nobody wants to hear about well-adjusted people making sensible decisions. We want the drama. We want the questionable theology. We want the firefighter who's probably vanilla in the sack. Okay, maybe I don't want that last one, but you get it. It's a soap opera wearing a cross necklace.
So the ultimate question remains, does the exploration of faith outweigh the melodrama and questionable causality, or is, as one particularly blunt assessment put it, Christian disaster porn?
Okay, rating time. I give Remember 3 out of 5 apocalyptic premarital romps. It's messy, it's preachy, it's probably offensive, but damn if I don't want to know if Ashley finally settles for Mr. Safe or if Luke gets struck by lightning next.
I can't condone that rating system. I'll give it 4 out of 10 troubled souls. Points for tackling heavy themes. Deductions for the heavy-handed execution and the sheer, overwhelming tide of Baxter family misery. It's exhausting.
You're just mad Landon didn't find a whalebone at ground zero.
That doesn't even make sense. Join us next week on Heartbook Radio when we'll be dissecting the controversial self-help manifesto. My hamster, my guru finding enlightenment in Setter shavings.
Oh gosh, not the hamster book, seriously.
Until then, keep turning those pages. Or throwing them across the room. We don't judge. Much. This is Heartbook Radio,